talking stretch mark, by the way.
Just Jenny.
No follow-through makes you look like a douche. All right, last night, because that's what people do. Actually, I don't, and I go online and I stalk everybody else's business, so I'm not even minding my own, even kind of a little.
Fewer U.S. teens are sexually active and are waiting until later in high school to try sex for the first time, according to this study.
They're going to try the sex. You put ketchup on it. Like, it's so weird. Trying sex.
We want to hear from you. Call 888-94-STARS. That's 888-947-8277. Here's Jenny Hutt.
Well, hello there. It is Monday, March 30th, 2020. And not only does that mean that I'm here in the quarantine, it's so weird that this is our reality, you guys. It's like some odd, dystopian, bizarre, punk, weird thing. It makes no sense.
Is it weird that I'm honestly almost used to it?
Yes.
Yeah, but not surprising, Katie. That's you. You have this highly adaptable thing about you that doesn't feel until you absolutely have to.
Uh-huh.
Like, you will ride this out, and then when things settle down and everyone's calm, you'll have more emotions.
She still won't feel it.
Right, but I think
then I'll be drinking again.
Right, she'll acknowledge the weirdness of it, I think, at that point. But it's so today is my father's 80th birthday, and 3 weeks ago, I keep saying, look, Jacob, my son, this whole coronavirus thing has been his shining moment. He has been like the house protector of everybody, my whole family. He sets the rules and he has set the tone. And we quarantined my father 3 weeks ago, a week before this all.
He's been the star of the show. Sounds like every other day of the year.
He's been ahead of all the curve of this because we keep telling him that he's psychopath. We tell him he's crazy.
It's great how young he is and how serious he's taking stuff.
He's taking this very, very seriously, and he's right. I mean, based on all the what has come out of it. But so we locked up my father 3 weeks ago, and that first week he was so furious with all of us because he was with my brother, with my sister, with me. And he's not alone. His wife is there, and he's next door to us. So we see him from across the porch to porch. You know, we're whatever, how many feet away, way more than 6 at all times. But he was initially irritated by the whole thing. Like, you guys are reacting. This is absurd. This is absurd. And by now, he's so grateful that he's been locked up for 3 weeks because it's mayhem in New York. Really scary. I worry about people like you, Marcus, because you're in Brooklyn, which is New York. And it's crazy here. And then you see, I was very thankful that yesterday the president said there will be another month because that made sense to me based on the numbers and based on everything that I see from a nonpartisan perspective. And like 4 days ago, we heard Dr. Birx being all like, this is going to be, we have to be granular with her whole thing of being very specific in each city. And I'm like, shut up. There's free travel. Like, people go from city to city. And if it's in one city, it's going to be in another. Just lock everyone down. Like, enough. So I think we're getting to that point where people are paying attention. And I think it's working. And hopefully we'll get to, but it's weird. And it's creepy. And it's my father's 80th birthday.
It's the uncertainty that's so
yes. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Because we think, in Italy and South Korea and Spain, the tide is turning, right?
Yeah.
And now we're not sure. It looks like numbers are trickling up there again, and they've been doing all these measures. We just don't know. The uncertainty is so difficult.
It's so unsettling and so upsetting. And I find that for all of us, and again, it's my dad's 80th birthday, and so today, like, I baked a cake last night, and I will post it on my Instagram. There's a really cute picture of my dad on Instagram too. He's so cute.
Coconut cake?
No, I made him a chocolate layer cake with oh wait, my puppy just ate my arm. Excuse me. A chocolate layer cake with cream cheese frosting, and then I put sprinkles around the entire thing, so it looks like it's from a bakery. It's really pretty.
Yep.
Yeah, all from scratch. I did this yesterday. I mean, the sprinkles
now,
from scratch.
The Compliment Tribe video happy birthday thing? Like,
we're going to do the whole thing. We're doing a full Zoom a little bit later, of course. And we are going to celebrate him in a safe way. That's all we can do. I mean, that's all you can do. But I was watching, like, if you follow, and as I said, I posted a picture of him because he's adorable, and Katie and Marcus. I'm going to get to Robin in just a second because Robin Call is with me, and then Dr. Joel Kahn is with me, who's going to talk about heart disease and Lp(a) and coronavirus and everything. And Robin's going to talk to us about books that are good to help us get through this. She's a book influencer, and she hosts a podcast called Reading with Robin, and then another Reading with Robin, and another podcast called The Cardigan Connection. That's a cute name. But anyway, I asked on my Instagram, and I'm at Just Jenny Hutt, how many people, I did a poll about how many people were in on the movement, the hashtag movement, and overwhelmingly 82% are down with movement. You know how happy I am? I was so happy.
Yeah, I don't think that's surprising. I think we're on the right track before it was even cool, Jenny.
I think so. Well, I think it's all. Well, now people are like, and this is weird to me. People are giving themselves all sorts of pressure, and we could actually bring Robin on, and I can introduce her, and she can weigh in on this. But people are like, oh my God, I'm going to get my jail body. And I'm like, what? Really? Because I'm just praying that, like, I don't get my atrophied body because I'm baking scones and pasta and making zucchini sticks that are put in the air fryer and breaded, and baking cakes and eating Twizzlers. But you go for yours. You're going to get that jail body. Go you. Like, that's not for me. It's just I want to feel my head to be well, which is, I think, this confinement has been very hard for so many of us because it's creepy, and wrapping your head around it is tough because we've never experienced it. So things like books are a great escape, or exercise are a great escape, because you need something to do. So, hello, Robin.
Oh, was I on the whole time?
Yeah, just this whole time. And you've been giggling. I was talking to you.
Oh, you're so funny. I was waiting for that clunk thing so I would know. Jenny, thank you so much for having me on. I'm stuck on jail body. I'm feeling, it's Monday morning, and I'm feeling like, the normal Monday morning feeling of sort of battling the week. Everything's out the window. Everything's different. But I love that you're reminding us to move and giving us permission to maybe not have it be that body. But, you're seeing all sorts of stuff online. I'm sorry. And I'm on my second cup of coffee. And happy birthday to your dad, who is the most adorable.
He's so cute, right? I know.
Oh, my God. I love that picture. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, he's we're very happy that he's okay, and it's a good day. But I think that I found that I can't really do projects, and I love these people who are doing everything in their house. They're cleaning and fixing and doing, and I'm like, I can't, but I can, like, make a cake and read a book. And books, which is your thing, you're a book influencer, and you host Reading with Robin, the podcast, and then you have these Cardigan Connection events. But let's talk about what are good books to read, because I think reading it's better than watching Netflix. And so there's got to be books that are great as sort of escapes during this whole thing.
I think so. I mean, that is what, you and I have connected on books. I mean, the first time we ever chatted, it was about your book, and we did a podcast when I had the radio show so long ago, and I still remember that conversation. And books are a bridge, and books build compassion and empathy. They take us away. They give us something to, if you can focus on a book, then you're really in that book, and you're giving yourself that time. And for all of my friends who've always said to me, I wish I had time to read, or I don't know how you have time to read, my joke is always that I take it away from, their gym time or something, because that's my dark sense of pithy humor. But there are people finding more time to read, and the books are continuing to come out. I mean, the publishing industry, like everything else, is in flux, but the ones that have come out and the ones that, the authors are not going on tour, they're not having their events. The book festivals were canceled. I started a few weeks ago just doing like insane back-to-back interviews.
I bet.
And normally, I have the podcast. I interview authors because I love their books, and I still am doing that, but just in an effort to just ramp up what I can share with readers, I've just kind of said, hey, Harlan Coben, I love you, but I didn't read your new book. Let's just chat. And that's been an interesting way for a type A personality to sort of chill and just like chat with authors. So that's been cool
that.
for me. But yeah, it's a different, and we've seen everyone's home, Jenny. Like they're animals, which everyone loves. The cat walks across the computer during the interview, or the bookshelves behind them, and I get easily distracted. I'm like, what's that? What's that? And people are being entertained. They're distracted for a little while. And it's kind of like, for me, 18 years of doing this, I feel like this is it. Like, I get to really connect with readers and also lighten up the mood a little. Plus, I've been hashtagging Stay Home and Read. And and I have so many books, but I think Jenny Hutt and I think nonfiction. That's my first thought.
So this is the thing. I just started... I'm like 20 pages in maybe. Bess Kalb's book. Did you read that one yet? No one will tell you but me. Okay, you're going to love this book.
Yes, I'm writing down yours. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's very Jewish, and you'll love it. It's a granddaughter and a grandmother. It's about their relationship.
Love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
No one will tell you but me. I will.
Yes.
That's something my grandmother would have said. Look, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right.
No one else will say.
No one.
You have on your list Wild Game by Adrienne Broder. I loved this book so much. I interviewed her. So talk about the response to this book, because I thought it was wild how people went bananas for it.
They did. It came out in the fall, and, a lot of the books I have here, I have many that are new, and then, like, nobody can read everything when it comes out.
Right.
Nobody. I mean, because there's a zillion that come out all the time. And I read Adrienne's book. I knew you would love it. It reads certainly like fiction, and she was embroiled in her mother's affair. As a 14-year-old, I think she was woken up in the middle of the night, and her mother said, I have to tell you something. And brought her into this incredible story that was unfolding. They were friends of the family, and I read this book. I read them about 6 months ahead, so about a year ago. So bear with me, but it was a page-turning journey of food and incredible scenery and, like, really inappropriate stuff for a 14-year-old to be connected to, but also her mother's name is Malabar. So right there. But so much love, so much mother-daughter love. And if you just sort of, anyway, no judgments about what happened. And I love Adrienne.
Well, I mean, the only judgment is that her mother just lacked all
there's that.
Understanding of boundaries. I mean, that's the judgment. That. Like, it's so confusing to me that, like, as a mother, and I know that you're an incredibly devoted mother to your daughter, like, to have your child have to hide your secrets is
it's right.
It's so confusing to me.
Of course. You know what's tricky for me, though, Jenny? Like, when I get to know, and I've gotten to know so many authors, I feel like so personally protective. Like, I don't want to, but of course, it's incredibly inappropriate. Adrienne knows that, and she's got an amazing mother and all that. But I just feel like I don't want to say. But yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's wrong. It's all of those things. And yet, like, when you're reading it,
great.
You're just sucked in. It is not to be missed. And I loved it. Wild Game, Adrienne Broder.
Yep, agreed. What about, because I didn't read the rest of these books that you have here, and I think I need to, because, like, 50 Things That Aren't My Fault by Kathy Geiswhite. I loved Kathy. I read Kathy every week like everyone else did.
Yes, that was my first stop on the Long Island Newsday. I would open up to the comics and read Kathy. So if you're a fan of Kathy and her incredibly humorous, full of heart, thoughtful, devoted cartoons and writing think pieces, and she and her mother have such a beautiful relationship. And so if you go to Kathy's, you follow her, you'll see a lot of this. And so this is just a compilation of 50 Things That Aren't My Fault. And you will love it. It is a treat to readers, And the thing I think also with our attention spans is that some of the things I included were short stories or something like 50 Things That Aren't My Fault. Read one thing that's not your fault a day, and then you'll get through the next 50 days in some way.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Thank you.
I think that's good with books in general, that now is not the time to give yourself rules. Like, you don't have to finish that book. You can go to another book. You can read part of this. You can read 2 books at once. You can, I'm reading Separation Anxiety by Laura Zigman also.
Oh, that's on my list. Oh,
yeah, it's good too.
You know that.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It's really good.
I just want to say, it's one of my favorite books this year. And when I say this year, I read it last year. So in the last 12 months, one of the things that you said about rules I love, and I'm constantly talking book club members off of this ridiculous book club cliff of I have to finish this book. If there's one thing you can get from this quarantine, crazy, out-of-body experience time we're living in, put the GD book down if you're not enjoying it.
Yes, of course.
Jen, you would be surprised how many people actually cannot bear the thought of thinking it will get better on the 283rd page.
No, it won't. If you don't like it, just don't waste your time. Yeah, I agree.
It down.
Yeah,
do you want to jump
so
to
many
fiction?
Good books.
There's so many good books.
I like. Let's do more than nonfiction. Then we'll get into some of the fiction as well, because I think both
you
have serve a purpose.
So I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
I like Laura.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. What is Witness? Ariel Berger.
Witness. Okay, so Ariel Berger, you mentioned the Cardigan Connection. That's a monthly author series that my daughter and I do in Providence, and we've been doing it for 4 years, where we bring 4 authors each month. Okay, so Ariel was a guest of ours in last January of 19, and now the book's out in paperback. He was a student of Elie Wiesel. He was a teacher's assistant. He was a confidant, a friend. And this book is sort of like Into Tuesdays with Morrie, that kind of thing. That kind of essence, and it is one of the most beautiful books. And if you get a chance, I don't know if any of his YouTube lectures are up, because we've had him, but I've also seen him speak. He's a rabbi as well, Ariel. He's very cool. He lives not far from us. He's in Sharon, Mass., and he spent so much time with Elie Wiesel up until, I think, weeks before the end, and he shares many of the teachings and makes them, even more. The book's relatable and even more important. And he and Elie Wiesel's son are putting together some kind of incredible foundation. I don't want to mess up the. What it's all about, but they're doing so much great work, and he's somebody great to follow on Facebook, and he's just.
Don't you find when you read that kind of book and you get the lessons from someone like Elie Wiesel, and then you look at people in this time of coronavirus complaining about the fact that they have to be home, and I'm like, look at Anne Frank, look at Elie Wiesel, look at what people endured to stay alive. I mean, this is nothing. For the most part, people who are obviously, there are people who are on the front lines and the healthcare workers and people who are struggling. That's not the ones I'm referring to who are kvetching. They can kvetch with good reason. I mean, people like you or people like me who are home in the comforts, that are creature comforts, and complaining that we can't go out to dinner or can't party with our friends. What is that?
I can't. I have no patience for it. I'm sorry if the Botox can't come. I'm sorry if the fillers are going to.
Oh my God, we just laugh. I just keep laughing about it, like every day. Right? Thank God I never did that. Never did the hair extensions. Never did the lashes. Just the hair color and the Botox. I don't care.
Right. Yeah. We're going to see what people really look like. But no, there's really, I mean, when you do think of what our ancestors have endured, and I've been thinking a lot about how would my grandmother be handling this, and she would have had much more ketchup in the house than I do. I mean, they were always sort of preparing, and there's a lot to think about. There's so much to be thankful for, and everything that people can do to support the people on the front lines, whether it's dropping something off at their home because, that they can't go shopping, or if they have extra, or whatever. Like, it's such a time to really think outside of oneself.
That's true. There are ways you can also. I got to find how I can link this. There are volunteer organizations that you can remotely volunteer. You can FaceTime or call an elderly person who's alone. Like, there's different things. I'm going to look into that, and you could be helpful.
I'll share it. That's great.
Oh, please do.
Share that.
Yeah. Also, by the way, you're at Robin Call Inc. INC on Instagram for people who want to reach out.
I'm sorry.
INK,
yeah.
right?
I'm sorry.
And
only because Robin Call is taken, Jenny. I mean, like somebody in Australia or something. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And but I tagged you so people can get you through my story.
Thank you.
But also, let's talk about some of the fiction, like Laura Zigman's book, Separation Anxiety, which I thought she did a really good job. It's really I think 3/4 of the way through. Yeah, so good.
Okay, so you and I, all right, so then to know that you love that book, then I know the other ones that you will like, which I'm so happy to hear, because you and I so discuss nonfiction and fiction sometimes, but Laura Zigman, she was one of the first people I interviewed on my radio show, and she had a 14-year hiatus. She wasn't able to write a lot of she talks about this. It's been written up, I think, in the Times or whatever, but she wasn't able to write, and a lot of family tragedy and illness and all of the things that happen in the world. So when I saw that she had a new book coming out, I was like, I could not get my hand. I drove her publicist nuts, and it's called Separation Anxiety, and if you go to I think Reading with Robin on Facebook, I did an interview with Laura, and also if you go to the Cardigan Connection, Laura was supposed to be at our series, so we did it remotely, and she is, so this is the woman in the story, Judy, lives with her husband. They can't afford a divorce, so he's in the basement. She's in the house. I mean, she's in the rest of the house. But they have this incredible relationship and a son they're trying to keep the secret from. And as she starts off in the book, she goes into the basement to sort of clean out. The book's so timely, and she comes across the sling that I don't think she ever used for her son. Anyway, she needs to fill the sling. She puts her dog in it, and Jenny and I are such dog people.
I love this. By the way, it's me. I mean, I don't think there's anything weird about it. I currently have a small dog in my lap right now. I don't have a problem with it. I'm like, okay.
No. Yeah, put the dog in the sling. And there's a picture, so Benny Irving, the corgi, is our pup, and we have a picture of Benny, I'll send it to you, wearing the handkerchief that came with the publicity stuff, and Benny was actually in the video when we were chatting with Laura. She wanted him to come to the series, and he couldn't come, but as it turns out, we didn't have it. But Laura, all of Laura's books are like my kind of books. She is funny. She is full of heart, sharp observations. Those are my kinds of books, and the book is just compulsively readable. I could not have loved Separation Anxiety.
Yeah, it's really good. Yep. She's a wonderful writer, and she did go through a lot, and then now came back stronger than ever. It's nice that she has, and that people are getting it and loving it, and I'm thrilled for her. She's a nice lady too.
She is, and also to see, like, she talks about being invisible, you know, that age that we're sort of hitting where there's some invisibility, and she's even more visible now with this book, which I'm so happy. Anyway, I have like 100 books to go over with you, Jenny, so.
Yeah, go through a couple more before we run out of time. You know.
Oh, my God, I don't want to run out of time. Well, along those veins, I don't know if you read All This Could Be Yours by Jamie Attenberg.
I didn't, but I've heard about it. Yeah, tell me. Okay.
You'll love it. It's dark, hilarious, smart, and all of that. But I want to get through a few. Donna Has Left the Building by Susie Jane Gilman, which was one of my favorites last summer, and Amazon's having some special Kindle deal April 1st. She's a real badass ex-punk rocker who comes home to suburbia to find something going on in the house, and she takes off. And she's a fiercely devoted mother, and there's travel in there, and Susan Jane Gilman is just one of my all-time favorites ever.
Okay.
So The Herd by Andrea Bartz is a perfect read. Women-only workplace, and there's a murder, and it's like very cool New York, well-heeled, you know, that kind of book. Also like Been There, Married That by Gigi Lavanje. If you like The Herd, you'll love that. I don't know how fast I have to go. The Grace Kelly Dress.
The Taffy Broadster actor, is she a New York Times writer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I've read her columns before. Yeah.
Oh, you will love Fleischman. You will love Fleischman is in Trouble. I think all the books I put on here you'll love. Me as Well, Peter Melman. He's the Seinfeld writer, Yada Yada, Double Dip, Shrinkage. And Me as Well, it's hashtag Me as Well. It came out last fall. It's funny and sharp, and in this very hilarious, misunderstood sports writer, Arnie Pepper, If you love Seinfeld and Peter Melman, you'll love me as well. And the Grace Kelly dress, Brenda Janowitz, who writes Pop Sugar books, and it's charming for the people who love Grace Kelly and generations of women all sharing this dress and family secrets and just, a beautiful Brenda Janowitz book. Historical fiction.
Do you have a favorite book of the season?
Oh, God. Of this season, that's so hard, Jenny. I'm going to go with Separation Anxiety by Laura Zigman.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think a lot of readers, a lot of readers and writers love this book. It's yeah.
Oh, it's a perfect book. Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemore is the Reading with Robin book club pick. I also have a book club on Facebook, and we're chatting with Margarita tomorrow night at 8 o'clock live. And then I think CBS Good Morning America might have also just picked it. But we picked it first, so Margarita will be on my page. And what's your favorite local indie store? Where do you shop? What's your book
I
store?
Shop online only. I mean, I know that the indie stores are important, so I'm happy they're in business, but I'm an Amazon person.
That's okay. Yeah. I've been buying gift certificates in honor of my favorite authors and shows, and I've been giving them away. So I was going to ask what yours was, and nice. I was going to do one. But post your
really
link,
nice.
And I'll share that. Yeah, I'm trying to do what
help
I can,
out.
And I'll send, and maybe post some of these others. I think I got to most of them. The Mountains Sing also, I put that on there by Quay May. I think immigrant stories are really important for empathy and compassion.
What did you think about that whole brouhaha with the Oprah's favorite book selection?
The American Dirt, was that the brouhaha? Okay, well, I think I read the book and I enjoyed the book. I think the brouhaha has more to do with the publishing industry and white privilege and what's being published than really Jean Cummings' issue. And her whole tour was canceled, and as it turns out, everybody's was. So it's really ironic and weird. And I could talk to you forever, but I'm sure it's time to go. I don't.
It is, no. But you're right. But you're right. It is. It is kind of interesting that every tour is now it's a whole different. Thing now. Everybody is just sort of talking about whatever they're doing online, and that's where you can find it. And it's good that we have this digital life. Yeah.
Yes, my step and repeat has taken over the dining room. All the interviews are on Reading with Robin. Jane Green will be on with me live. We're having tea with Jane at 4, and Ellen Hildebrand was on from St. John last week. Jodi Picoult this Wednesday at 4, and so a lot of my authors, they're just like lifting spirits. Readers are so happy to see their favorite authors in their pajamas, and maybe not even the bottom half of their pajamas.
Yes, that's right. Why do they have to? If they don't feel like it, they don't need to wear them. All right. Thank you so much, Robin, for being on my show. Follow Robin Call at Robin Call Inc., I-N-K, on Instagram, and check out her Facebook page as well, and look up Reading with Robin podcast. Thanks for being on my show. I appreciate it.
And happy birthday to your dad.
Thank you. All right. Quick break, you guys. I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Sirius XM Stars wants you to live your best life. One of the things